Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of the Liberty for Philly podcast. I'm Mitchell, that's Jared, and let's get right into the Philly sports. So this week we don't have a special guest, however we are going to go around and talk about all 4 major Philly sports teams and maybe some college. Let's get into it. So let's start off with the Eagles. They are in the offseason trying to shed some cap room for free agency this year, and I guess there's not really much to talk about them, but who do you think they're going to pick number 6, Jared?
I would like to see them pick fairly, though. I don't remember if there's 9 there, but the cornerback from Virginia Tech is the best one in the class. If he falls this far, they better take him. And I've been hearing rumors that they're going to potentially trade down. That those better not be true. Like the first round pick is the first couple of round picks are the only new talent that we can get, or that the Eagles can get, because they're still plenty over the cap, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. I mean, or at least this offseason, maybe next offseason, hopefully next offseason, they'll be back around, like, or at least below the cap, so they can actually do more things besides draft. So yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. But and if one rumors I've been hearing out is that the offensive line guy from Oregon might be dropping down. And in all honesty, I would honestly probably have him
Cool, right?
possibly. Yeah, Sewell.
I think
I would pick him. But if you are gonna trade down, at least hopefully you get a second, maybe even a first out of that.
I don't think Sewell's gonna fall. I think he's gonna go 2 or 3.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I don't think we should trade down unless we get a first round pick back in return. A third and a fifth I was thinking somebody might give up for the 6th pick, and I don't think that's going to be. I guess there isn't such a premium due to the fact that there's possibly going to be 0 star quarterbacks remaining at 6. But if you get that 6th pick, there's a possibility that that team that you traded to could use it to trade back up to the top 3. Next, let's transition into the Flyers. They have lost 4 of their last 6 and are not looking too good. Jared, what do you think they need to do to improve this?
Well, they need a defense, I can tell you that. Carter Hart, yeah, he's been getting a lot of the blame, but it would be helpful if, he had if he wasn't facing like 30, 40 shots a game. Defense it's pretty much just Ivan Provorov just carrying a bunch of scrubs. Like,
Yeah.
everyone else occasionally does well, but like Provorov is, I mean, yeah, he had that one really bad mess up the other night, but it happens to the best of us. You can ask Eric Carlson back in his prime, like all the better defenders. It happens. Everyone messes up. Crosby's messed up, and while we laugh in unison, Ovechkin's missed on some nice stuff. Everybody messes up. It's normal, but like, the only consistent performer I feel like on the defense is Provorov, and even then he hasn't been his best. So they need a defense, I can tell you that.
Yeah. So hopefully we can look forward to a trade here at the deadline for a defenseman. But also, I think AV just came out and said today that Carter Hart will not be starting for the next couple days as he continues to train and get himself back to his old form.
I think Moose is actually doing all right for now. And
But
also,
yeah, another bright spot, at least to what has been Gosh Despair, as he has been.
Oh yeah, I forgot he returned to.
He's returned to the lineup, and as he's been healthy, he has about 5. I think he has 4 goals in his last 10 games, which is pretty surprising.
Yep.
So hopefully in the future we can get to see another decent defenseman come here at the trade deadline. I think we have enough prospects and enough.
I feel like the defense though is kind of like the bullpen arms are just slowly disappearing. Like the good defense.
Yeah, like one thing I do not like about this new team is that they lack that physicality that was there a couple of years ago with Matt Niskanen. And
Niskanen really wasn't.
He wasn't, but he brought some fight into the defense. Like, I want to see them bringing in a Wayne Simmons type of player, not like Wayne
not actually Wayne Simmons,
not actually Wayne Simmons, but like a defenseman, a defenseman that has that same type of physicality.
Yeah, but I feel like that kind of play style is just disappearing as well.
Yeah. And now let's transition into.
I'm not done yet. I also wanted to say that I mean,
do you want me to talk? I'll talk over you.
You remember the old 2000 early 2010s teams? How much fun it was watching them just beat the crap out of everyone. So old bullies so bad.
I miss that team.
I miss the early 2010s teams. Oh yeah, and also you know what else we could use? I mean, hopefully this can end for him while he's in Philadelphia, but a coach that doesn't choke in the playoffs.
Well, I think that Lane Vigneault, last year he came pretty close, but I think that we just ran out of
They ran out of gas, yeah.
gas.
But
I
he
think
also
this
got
year,
out.
I
I
think
think
the
Barry
GM,
Trotz also
I
outcoached him
think
as well.
Scott Fletcher is the GM right now for us, right?
It would be Chuck Fletcher, but
Chuck
yeah.
Fletcher. All right. I think Chuck Fletcher understands this problem, and I think he's going to address it by the deadline. But it's going to be interesting
And then
because this.
overpay another middle six forward. Yes, genius. 10 out of
But
10.
what's it called? If he makes a good trade at the deadline, I believe the Flyers can make a good run in the playoffs. However, if they do not do anything significant at the deadline, I do think this team might even miss the playoffs in this huge division.
Yeah. AV hasn't won a cup yet, right? He's gotten close. He's blown a 3-2 series lead in the final, but I feel like his led teams, when they get to Game 7, they lay eggs. Like 2011 Canucks laid an egg in Game 7 in the finals. The Rangers in 2015 laid an egg in Game 7 against the Lightning, and now us last year laid an egg in Game 7. So
Yeah.
I think how many Game 7s has he won? He's won
I think he's won two.
2. I can only think of 2 off the top of my head. No, he's won 3.
Oh,
No,
what was the
four,
third?
four,
Oh,
four,
what was the
four.
fourth?
So I think he's like 4-3. I feel like the offense hasn't never been there. No.
I think four
Oh,
and
I know
three is it.
he won one in 2011 when they in the first round against Chicago. 2014 with the Rangers, they beat both of the Pennsylvania teams in Game 7 in the first 2 rounds, and then they beat 2015 they beat the Caps in Game 7. 2000 and then
And then the Kings and Alec Martinez, he lost
that
that, right?
that was 5 games.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think he's 4-3 with many. I don't think they've ever scored more than 3 goals though. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's really ever been offensive production though, because like with the Rangers 2015 it was only 2-1. 2014 I think it was also 2-1, and then both times 2011 it was 2-1. So I feel like the offense tends to disappear for the most part, and it's really on the goalie in Game 7. Although he has come back from 2-3 games to 1 series deficits.
He has, yeah.
That
I
years.
think he just needs the right players to
He needs
carry
like the
him.
right. I don't know if it's that or if it's maybe he needs to not go against Barry Trotz. Let's put it that way, and maybe go against
That's
2019
true.
John Cooper, not 2020 John Cooper, but 2019 John Cooper.
Yeah. All right, now let's transition into the team that so far has the most promising right as the looking the most promising right now.
The Eagles.
Your now the Philadelphia Phillies. As you may have seen in our last episode, we predicted the standings of the NL East and other divisions in baseball. If you want to go check that out, that is just click our button and just go check that out. But also I had the Phillies placing second in the wild card. Jared, what did you have them in?
I had him third. I mean, again,
Third.
the whole division is going to be a mess.
The
I
whole
agree.
division, I believe, is still going to be a mess. But judging on, I use spring training a lot, but
It's going
Jared
to be.
doesn't.
Don't touch on spring training. Never do that because they've got a bunch of prospects.
I'm not going to use it for other teams, but I'm just going to
Never judge
say
spring training. Like never judge the preseason for anybody. The 2000, the biggest one, the Browns back 2017, 4-0 in the preseason, 0-16 in the regular season. All
I
that
would say they're looking
nothing.
pretty promising at the time of the recording this. They are up 9-3 on the Detroit Tigers, and Didi Gregorius hit a grand
Not
slam,
good.
and Bryce Harper hit a 436-foot 2-run home run off of Casey Mize, the
I'm sorry, but
Tigers' top pitching prospect.
this is like a 6'5" person beating a 4 foot tall kid in basketball. I'm sorry.
It's true, but that was the first run Casey Mize gave up all spring training, and today he gave up 6. But today, I think the Phillies are still going to place second, but I do honestly think that this team has a great chance of winning the NL East crown. I think they'll have a higher chance of winning the crown of the NL East rather than gaining that first wild card. So I do believe the Phillies will have a red October this year.
A red October, so they're gonna be massacred, and then okay.
Well, I guess it could go both
I don't
ways.
know. Again, this division's a mess. It's really hard to predict. Just like the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's really hard to predict.
If you would like us to do a check in every so often on the Phillies, like do a quick overview, like say every 3 months or every month of the Phillies playing. So obviously their season starts April
Okay,
1st.
let's be real. Mitchell will probably be talking about them every week.
We'll be talking about them every week, but if you would like to see like a specific episode based on the Phillies and our review of them over that month of play, so April, we'll do the month of April would be the next possible time we can do that. Make sure to leave a like and let us know if you would like to see it or not. Now, lastly, Jared, if you would not, if there's
I don't
anything,
mind talking about them right now because something big just happened with them. The
yeah,
Joel's hurt. Not as long as they originally had said, but he's hurt, and obviously
yeah,
we've seen from that one certain Pistons game that shall not be mentioned. Oh, too late, I mentioned it.
yeah,
But
you mentioned it.
yeah, they did pretty bad without him. They did pretty awful. They did not play well at all.
However,
Uh,
you got to think that
I did see that he is like he is right now he has the highest odds of becoming the MVP, which obviously they mean nothing. But
they right now the odds are probably going to change more in the other favor with him being out 2 to 3 weeks. However, if he comes back from the injury and just pops off
well,
for
then
the
that proves
last
that he
couple,
really is the MVP.
he's really in the MVP. If he can go injured for 2 to 3 weeks and come back and still be dominant and carry his team, say possibly, because I believe over this
This
next
team
couple
really
times,
is Joel. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. So with over the next couple weeks, so he's out 2 to 3 weeks. I think this honestly, I wish he was 1 week in opinion, but these 2 to 3 weeks, they're not playing really good teams until that last week he can come back. There's a possibility he can come back for 2 of these games, but the three toughest teams in that stretch are the Golden State Warriors. There's four. There's the Warriors, the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Denver Nuggets.
How are the
The
Warriors doing this year?
the Warriors are okay. I mean, Stephen Curry is still Stephen Curry, and
Well, the
Draymond
floor is
Green
also
is
still made out of floor.
yeah,
So
he's still carrying. They're doing not as good as you thought, right?
I
Let me
mean,
look
no,
that
I
up.
didn't. I didn't know how they were doing. I didn't
Yeah,
guess.
I me neither. I just know
I don't miss them being
they're in the
dominant.
playoffs. No, wait, no, they're out of the playoffs right now. They're ninth in the Western Conference. They
But isn't
lost by
that
two to the
aren't
Trailblazers,
aren't
and
aren't
huh?
they in now because they're switching formats?
Uh, if in order to get in, they would have to beat the 8th seed in the
Well, this is
play-on
like the
tournament.
wild card round, like
It is
breaking all
basically the
the
wild
yeah.
card.
That's part of the postseason, though.
So I believe this
Stupid, but it's part of the postseason.
right now it's the 7th versus the 8th seed. The winner of that guarantees themselves as the 7th seed. Then it's the 9th and the 10th seed. So right now in the Western Conference, it would be the Spurs versus the Mavs for the
I
seventh
feel
seed.
like the only way they should do like a playing thing is if like there's a tie.
I
Other than
think they're
that,
doing it
it's
this year, to
really
be honest, is
stupid.
for revenue loss. Like
Either that or because like there's like a short it's a shortened
it's
season.
a
But they
shortened
did do
season
that in the
too.
lockout from I have no idea how long ago. It was like 10 years.
Yeah. So like right now, it would be the Warriors versus the Grizzlies for that 8th seed. Like so, the Warriors and the Grizzlies will play each other. The loser of that is kicked out of the playoffs. So say I think the Warriors would beat the Grizzlies. It would be the Warriors versus the loser of the Spurs Mavs. In that game, I think the Mavs will win because of Luka Doncic. So it would be the Spurs versus the Warriors.
So you know
The winner,
something
and then the
I
winner of that game gets the 8th seed. What's up?
okay, so you know like the whole like at recently like the one seed pretty much is a guarantee for excuse me the second round. So I was like looking through like past seasons just because why not? And I discovered that eight seeds beating the one seed were just as common as it was in the NHL. It actually happened decently often, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, it hasn't happened since I believe actually the Sixers were the last eight seed
I
to make
think
the
this,
second
yeah, the
round.
Sixers were the
They beat
last
the
team.
Bulls. Although
Yeah.
Derrick Rose tore his ACL in game one, and they hurt Joaquin, and then Joaquin Noah rolled his ankle on somebody and missed a couple of games. But
Still, you could say that
and I
about.
remember that game too. Sixers fans started cheering
Oh,
because yes,
Jared,
Philadelphia.
we have some Flyers news that just came in. Andy Andrioff and Nate Prosser will be on the squad tonight. So a forward and a defenseman will be healthy
I thought
scratches from
I,
today.
I thought you were about to say, oh, like Provorov is hurt or something, or like I don't know, one of their better players is hurt.
Yeah, probably not. And then, so
No,
continuing on with the Sixers, what I was saying, let's just keep talking about the Eastern Conference, and I'll get into my final points. But right now, it would be the Knicks versus the Hawks for that 7th seed.
the Knicks versus Sox for 7. Oh boy.
And then it's the Raptors Pacers. The Pacers have fallen off. They were in 4th place the other week.
I
But
mean, oh boy, this
so
is this reminds me like the whole
there's so many, like the
the
Eastern
Western
Conference is
Division.
such a mess. There's only
Eastern
Well,
Conference is
the
always a
Celtics.
mess.
There's 5 teams right now with a winning record. The Nets play tonight. The Nets, their game behind the Sixers. I think the Sixers during this time without Embiid will fall
Who's
to
one right
second.
now?
The Sixers are
Philadelphia.
at first seed.
Okay.
The Nets, however, play the Pistons, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Magic, the Wizards, the Trailblazers, and then they played the Jazz.
The only
But
way I see them losing is if they beat themselves.
I think Blake Griffin,
It
I
can happen.
forget, I think Blake Griffin might make his debut tonight. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Remember when he was a subject of talking about? Remember when he was really good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Nets have assembled the best team, I think, from 2015. I think when was Kyrie? 2016, 2015,
No, like the
2016.
middle, they assembled a middle 2010s team. Kyrie
Yeah,
was already pretty, was already
he didn't
good
pop.
in
I guess he didn't really come onto the
2016 was
scene
probably
until
fresh.
LeBron and Kyrie were together.
No, I
But
think they were good. They were they're creating like an all-star team from like middle 2010s.
But just from looking at the schedule here, Blake Griffin could make his debut tonight. Today is March 13th.
I actually
But he,
forgot they were still playing. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, he could be making his debut against his former team in the Pistons today. But
I
right
actually
now,
forgot he played for them.
these
Ever since he left
next
the Clippers, I actually forgot he was still in the league.
right now the Sixers, the Nets over the next 6 games play all teams with a record below 500, and they have already beaten these teams handily already so far.
That's not
That's
happening.
possibly 6 games that the Nets could win over the next next 7 days with Joel Embiid out. In the next 6 games for the Sixers, they play the Spurs, the Knicks, the Bucks, the Kings, the Knicks again, and then they play the Warriors. So in that stretch, the Sixers would only have a 1 game differential on the so they can lose one of those games, and one of those games could be against the Warriors.
Okay. Going back to the NHL, I'm sorry, the Western Division is, oh, geez.
I don't
So
want to
I
talk
remember
about that.
I'm sorry, the Blues fans. I know. I think I talked
I'm,
about this
we
already.
take this time. Just if you're a Blues fan, we're sorry.
No. I'm not sorry. I'm mad at you people.
Oh,
Although they're probably not watching because we're just a Philadelphia podcast anyway. But they were the ones complaining about their division being tough when all they had to worry about was Colorado and Vegas. Their last spot could be somebody like Minnesota or the Kings, two
Alex
teams who are
Petrangelo.
diarrhea. Like they can't even. Oh my god! Like they wouldn't even make it if it was a regular year. Let's put it that way. They would probably have a tougher time playing in their normal division than
True.
this one. And they were complaining about.
So here is the
an hour
NHL
entire division,
standings as they stand right now. In the Central Division,
which is also puke worthy.
which is puke worthy, the Hurricanes hold first place over the
And that's
Tampa
when
Bay
you know it's
Lightning
puke worthy.
by 1 point, and then tied for
This isn't
second
the middle
is the
2000s.
The Lightning and the Panthers each have 38 points. Then dropping back about 5 points and holding that final playoff spot is the Chicago Blackhawks. Then holding down the bottom of that division, we got the Blue Jackets, the Predators, the Stars, and the Red Wings. The Stars still have to play about, they're only playing 22 games so far this season, and yet they only have 21 points. And the Red Wings through 28 have 20. So in that division, I think we can do something. I think we can do an impromptu. Let's do that. I think the winner of each division is going to be. I think the Lightning will come back and win the Central Division. What do you think?
Yeah. Wait, they're not in the lead right now?
They are down by 1 point, but they are 1 game behind.
They have a game in hand. I mean, yeah, I forgot. I did realize. I did know that Carolina caught fire. I didn't realize Tampa was struggling.
Yeah, they've been pretty. They've been pretty.
I mean,
good.
I didn't realize because Vasilevsky's been on a roll.
Yeah, the Blackhawks, after supposedly wanting to tank, have surprisingly taken the 4th spot.
Again, that division's terrible. So the Central and the West, like the East division's really the only.
The East is there's 5 teams that deserve to make the playoff in that division.
Like they should just give the last West spot to that last.
They should. They can say, but if you think about it,
Canadian division.
that last spot though in that division, say if that team gets COVID, they were gonna take probably the next best team, and that could be
they'll probably take the next best team in the division. And Mitchell, don't wish that on anybody. Come on, man. I know you're not wishing on it, but I'm just saying, like, it kind of
Yeah.
seemed like it. But
Hey,
don't wish anybody gets COVID.
yeah, you don't want to wish anybody. I think they'll be fine. There's gonna be. I think these teams will probably get vaccinated at
I
some
mean,
point.
they're only going within a certain area, with the exception of the Bruins, Flyers
So
going.
who do you think is gonna win the Central?
Central, oh geez, probably Tampa, and then
Tampa.
West,
The West Division. We got
Vegas,
the Golden Knights.
Vegas. Colorado was underachieving.
Golden Knights, the Wild. The Blues are tied with the Wild right now for second place, but the Wild are 2 games in hand, and the Golden Knights are in first place with
Wild
35
are just
points.
overachieving here.
Yeah, the Avalanche and the Wild have played the same amount of games, and the Wild has 1 point on them.
Yeah, the Avs are underachieving. The East, I think, will go to Washington. Not Washington. Yeah, Washington. Either
So
Washington or Boston.
for the West, I would probably have the
I
Golden
feel like
Knights.
Boston's playing a bit
The
over their
Knights
head.
are going to win the East Division.
Although they deserve
However, I think the Flyers and Bruins still have 2 games in hand on the Capitals and Penguins, and the Islanders have played 27 points
They
and
have played
have
27 points in
the
sight.
Flyers through 24 games have 29 points.
I think the Flyers are.
They're gonna squeak in. I think one of these teams is gonna fall out. I think the Penguins are
I
gonna be the
think
odd team out.
no, maybe, I don't know.
The
I think
Bruins, the
Boston and
Capitals,
Washington will be 1-2, not in any specific order.
the
It'll be
Penguins, and the Islanders. Even though the Islanders are in first place right now, I think at some point
Wait, they are.
one of the Islanders and the Penguins are gonna fall out of the race, and I think the Flyers will
I think
squeak
the
in.
Islanders will make the playoffs. I think the Penguins will. If anybody, if Philadelphia doesn't, if ends up making it, I think Pittsburgh will be the ones that won't. It's gonna
Yeah.
be. I think it's gonna be the Islanders, Bruins, and the Capitals, and then one of the Pennsylvania teams not in any.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. The Capitals are probably going to win the East, and then lastly in the North Division, it's going to be the Maple Leafs. They got 4 points over Edmonton.
The Leafs. Do you think they'll actually win a playoff series?
No, I think they're just getting away with some easy competition. Austin
And Austin
Matthews is obviously really good,
Yeah,
and he's
Matthews
just
is
beating up on the
tough,
Oilers, the Jets, and the Canadiens.
and everybody. The
And
Canadians have fallen hard.
if I had to take these 4 top teams, I don't know how the NHL playoffs are going to work. I know 4 teams each make it, but I don't know if they're playing their. Do you know how they're going to
go like they'll probably go like the original organized format, like instead of having like the last.
But how would you have seeding though? Because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What they did before they changed it to like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in like 94, which they use all the way up until the 2013 or 2013 playoffs. That was the last year they used it. So what they did was, it's pretty similar to the one now. Like it was one, like there was so now it's the top 3 get a spot in each division go in, and then there's 2 wild cards. Back then it was top 4, no wild cards.
Oh, here it is. It says in each division it will be 1 versus 4 and 2 versus 3.
That's what I was just about to say. Thank you. But yeah, so they did it. It was like back then it was like the Norris, Adams, Smythe, and Patrick division or something like that. And the Campbell and Wales conference.
So right now in the North, in the playoffs, it will be the Maple Leafs versus the Canadiens, then the Oilers versus the Jets. Who do you think's coming out of there?
Again, this isn't gonna last, so I'm not even gonna bother. This league is really hard to predict.
So if the Maple Leafs are playing the Canadiens, they'll probably think the Maple Leafs will finally get their playoff series. But if it's the Oilers in a 7-game series, Maple Leafs Oilers, I don't think the Maple Leafs will pull out of that. I think that Connor McDavid will somehow actually be good in the playoffs.
The Oilers
carry
are
the team
a
more.
1-line team. Although so are the Leafs. The Leafs are a 2-line team now.
And then obviously I think the Golden Knights will make that Final Four in the East Division. That has to be up in the air. But right now,
I don't know what they're gonna do though. What are they gonna have the conferences be? East and North, West, Central? I don't know.
But so they're gonna have North, East, Central, West. So the winner of the North and the West will play each other. The winner of the East and the Central will play each other. So that would be most likely.
Rory, we've done it. We've made the finals. No. It could be like the 2 Eastern Conference teams or the 2 Western Conference teams making it against each other in the postseason.
Honestly,
I don't know, a long time.
It could be the Blackhawks Flyers in a sense, too.
I mean, yes, I do always think that the Blackhawks are going to pull a run out of their tuchus, but no, I don't see them I don't see them making it past the second round.
Yeah.
And now they're going to win the cup because I said that. Oh, man. Sir, I really hope they don't win the cup. I hate the Blackhawks. I hate the Blackhawks. I hate Chicago fans too. But Anyway, so I told you a trivia question I asked like when we were in school, and then I was wrong about it. So the
Mm,
question was, who was the last player to win two back-to-back cups, but with two different teams? I
mm.
originally had said it was like Corey Stillman from like the mid 2000s, but I was wrong. I forgot about one person who did it recently,
Who was it?
Patrick Maroon. Last year,
Oh, that's
Lightning
right. Yeah,
before the
yeah.
Phillies. Yep.
How about Jared? How about you give a trivia question for the people in the comment
Time
stands?
now for the Jeep trivia question.
Yeah,
We
honestly,
get
here's your Jeep.
that whole thing. Oh man. And find out the answer in that's the fourth inning. Just kidding. We're not doing that.
Okay.
I don't know. What I can do one in any league.
Pick
Almost.
a random league.
Um, we're doing the NH. I'll do one for multiple league, honestly. So for it's all kind of doing with like the lowest seeds. So the NHL, what was the highest? We'll get back to it later. We obviously have to talk about other things, and then we'll treat it like the Phillies do. You'll try to answer them later, and then
Yo.
the answers. So the NHL one is what was the highest seeding pair to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals? So like this happened
Like
between
8 plus 8 equals 16. That so
for
like in
that
golf. Okay.
that never happened. The eight that has never happened. I believe if I remember correctly, only two 8 seeds have made it to like in that era, between 94 and 2013 made it to the Cup final, and that could be a thing on its own. And then the NFL, who was the last 6 seed to win the Super Bowl? Those are the two questions.
All right. Those are your two trivia questions. And make sure to answer them in the below, and we'll like your comment if it's correct. Also,
We're
pronounce.
probably going to cheat, Mitchell. They can fast forward it and then they'll
Let's
look.
have an honor system. Try not to.
Or we can make it this up for
Uh,
me.
true. That's true. Yeah.
But
All right. Brief announcement before we can end this podcast. We would like to let you know that next week we will have a special podcast as we make our official March Madness brackets.
even
Also,
though
make
I've
sure
already started.
and also make sure to leave a comment down below if you would like to be included in the Liberty for Philly podcast bracket challenge on the NCAA March Madness app. Make sure you let us know how you feel, and if so, we'll make a bracket for all of us. But in case, next week we'll definitely make our brackets, and I will make sure I have 116 upset. Just
Wow.
kidding. I don't know, but we'll make sure. I'm always no for upsets. I think in one of my brackets I had an upset for every one. So like I had 16 being 1, 15 seed being
The
2.
highest upset I've ever called, like I knew this was going to happen. Like I think it was 2018. Like the moment I saw the matchup and the moment I saw like 13-4, the 4-13 upset.
Oh, Loyola Chicago? No, that was
No, 4-13. No, Loyola Chicago. Oh, no, I think that was the same year, but that they were 6-11. The highest upset, like the highest one I believe is actually 6-11, but like the 4-13 are actually a lot more common than people
Yeah, they
realize.
are.
So as
Yeah.
soon as I saw Arizona was a 4 seed and they were going up against Buffalo, who I feel like
Oh, I saw that one
a lot
coming
more
too.
people. I'm
Arizona
like,
was
I
not looking
saw the
too hot.
matchup and I'm like, Buffalo is going to win. I did not expect them to win by 18 points or however many,
Yeah, what's
but
it
I
called?
did expect them to win. And
This
Buffalo won.
year, I expect there to be a lot of upsets because there's a lot of quality teams. And like, look, today
It's
I
gonna be
think.
weird. There's gonna be no Duke. North Carolina is gonna be
Oh
low.
well,
They
Duke
make it.
could still get in.
I thought
They
you said they withdrew due to COVID.
they did, but they officially came out today saying sources like from ESPN. They said that Duke would still be accepting to an invite to the NCAA tournament if they
If they do, they'll
shall
be like
receive
a
one.
15 because like
They're
they're
not going to
terrible.
be up there. No, like
Kentucky's gonna be low if they get in. North Carolina's gonna
there's
be
going
low.
to be a lot of Big
It's
Ten
gonna be
teams. I
so
think
Kansas isn't gonna be that high either. It's gonna
if
be
you didn't
so
tell,
weird.
I'm a huge, as Jared calls me, an NIT spring training guy. If you guys wouldn't know, Penn State would be the highest team not to be in the NCAA tournament. So therefore, I believe they're going to
That's
go into
true.
the NIT. Um, the Big Ten today this year so far, I think was our the best conference in
Oh
basketball.
yeah, by far.
And then
Which
I
is
think the worst
usually it's the
conference that's
ACC.
always super weird is the conference Gonzaga's in. They're playing Pepperdine and BYU.
That's I mean
The
aren't they
Mountain West.
the
The
Mountain? Well, they're
Mountain
already in
West.
the conference though.
Hmm?
I'm pretty sure they're in. Yeah, usually it's just Gonzaga carrying that conference, and then I'm pretty sure
Gonzaga just wins that conference. They're the only undefeated
St.
team
Mary's.
left.
I think St. Mary's beat them last time.
They did, yeah. And I think this
Surprising.
year, I'm not gonna have Gonzaga going pretty far. I think they're gonna lose. Like, when was the last time there was an undefeated NCAA champion?
Wait, they're undefeated?
The Gonzaga is undefeated.
Oh, well, it's rare that undefeated teams even enter the tournament. The last one that I can think of that was undefeated heading into the tournament was Kentucky in like 20, whichever year Wisconsin lost to Duke. I think it was 2015. Whichever Wisconsin beat Kentucky in the Final Four. That was Kentucky's only loss, and then
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
it says here Gonzaga is the 5th team to enter the
Frank
NCAA tournament with a undefeated record. Joined Indiana State in 1979, UNLV 1991, Wichita State in 2014. Oh, I
Oh,
totally forgot they
really?
used to be good. And then
I knew they
Kentucky,
were good. I didn't realize they were
Kentucky
undefeated.
in 2015.
I got to see the 2014 bracket. I did not realize Wichita State was that
Since
good.
Indiana's perfect season 45 years ago, none of these squads have followed Indiana have claimed the NCAA title. So that means 45 years ago.
Oh yeah, UConn won this year in 2014. I think Wichita State beat Louisville, and I hated Louisville at the time. I still do now, but
which year was the leg year?
that was 2013, the year Louisville won, but then they had to vacate. So I'm calling Michigan as the champions of that year. Mitchell used to be salty as heck. I don't care.
Iona with Rick Pitino is going to get revenge and win it all. But 1976 was the last time there was an NCAA undefeated champion.
Okay, let's see. Where is Wichita State? Oh yeah, they were a 1 seed. They were the Midwest number 1. I did not realize, and they were in the MVC. They were in the MVC, not the Big East yet.
Yeah, one of my favorite things this year,
I wanted
this time of year, is just to watch these games in school. It's
that was always fun.
Well, remember our freshman year that we had all the monitors stuff.
Good time. I wanted to like when Wichita State, when I found out initially when they were joining the American, like with Temple, I wanted to die as a Temple fan. But like now Wichita State's not even that good anymore. But like I knew they were. Yeah, they did beat Louisville this year. I forgot.
I have to remember what was my last like.
Oh God, you want to hear?
When was my last?
Mitchell, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
Kentucky was an 8 seed this year, and they made it to the Final Four still. But you want to hear something even funnier?
What is it?
Duke lost to Mercer this year. Wait. It gets better. Kansas lost to Stanford in basketball. Like this
was Juju was what's it called? Was it JJ Arcega-Whiteside playing for them?
Dude, Arcega-Whiteside does not play basketball, buddy.
I know. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Ohio State lost to Dayton this year. Oh boy.
They lost to Dayton.
This was a pretty memey year, kind of.
I'm trying to remember when the last year. I think, but my favorite NCAA tournament for the last couple of years was last year's when it got canceled because that was when my favorite team, Penn State, was supposed to be in it. But other than that, I can't remember. I think there was a pretty good year. I think it was 20. It was when CBS still had the old logo. When was the last time Ohio State made the Final Four in basketball?
Oh my God. The last time that Ohio State made the Final Four?
Yeah.
Like 2000, I don't know.
Because that was like my last favorite. Like that was probably my most favorite.
This was the wrong. I thought UConn and Florida was the championship this year. I was wrong, but it was an 8 seed.
Okay.
7 seed. That's impressive.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for today. I was pretty excited about what we had to talk about, but make sure to leave your.
My dad from the background.
That's fine. It happens, but make sure
to do the trivia answers as well.
Yeah, we want to see your trivia answers to the trivia questions down below, but also leave a comment and a like.
Why can't we answer them right here?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Jared, what's the answer?
Oh, hold on. First off, I'm pretty sure in 2010 as well, the championship, like the seeding was also really low in the finals. Like UConn was like Butler was like a 12 seed or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then, do you mind? Sorry, this is getting really annoying. Oh, here it is. Oh, nope. I got to go back a year. Wait, or no, I go forward a year. 2011 was.
Well, Jared, I'm just going to talk through the outro real quick. So while Jared is finding out some last couple things to talk about, we would love to hear your suggestions in the comments below. And if you liked what you saw, I know this was a little scuffed, but this is how a podcast works. It's unedited. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and the notification bell so you hear more from us every Sunday. We post every Sunday and we're going to stick true to that.
All right.
But keep on the eye out for our special bracket reveal podcast, which will come out sometime next week.
And so Butler was an 8 seed in 2011, and UConn was a 3. I thought Butler could have tied Villanova's record of being an 8 seed for the lowest to ever win. And I thought they were lower when they played against Duke, but I guess not.
So who was the last
Oh, and
lowest
VCU,
seed?
they played VCU in the Final Four that year in 2011, and they were an 11 seed, so that was pretty nice.
Mhm.
But so the answers to the questions earlier. So first we'll do the NHL. The highest total number of seeding pairing was in 2012. It was number 8 LA Kings. They won that year. They beat the Devils, who were in 6th seed.
So
And
14.
14. Yep. And the Devils also became the lowest seed. They broke their own record of having the lowest seed to have a home ice in the Stanley Cup final. And then the Super Bowl one, the last time a 6 seed won the Super Bowl was the Packers when they won Super Bowl 45. They were
Against the Yinzer gang.
against the Yinzer gang. Yes, Mitchell.
Well, thank you, Jared. And if you got those right, make sure to tell us down below. And this has been the second ever episode of the Liberty for Philly podcast. See you guys next time.